angles of parallel lines. So what I would need you to do, you're going to draw this diagram a little bit bigger on your notes because you need to put a lot of parts in it. So draw two lines that are parallel to one another. Do it like this so you can refer to my diagram and we're kind of on the same page here. So those are parallel lines. Now, what I told the other class is now that I look at that, board, I'm like, those aren't really parallel. Do you see if they kept going, they'd run into each other, kind of? So they're not exactly parallel, and probably yours aren't either. But whether it's on a diagram on the board, diagram in the book, I know that these two lines are parallel if I put these arrowheads on them. Those markings tell me that those two lines are parallel. You're like, but Mr. A, they're not actually parallel. Okay, if I take the time to actually make them parallel, I can use my compass, my protractor, measure it out. Okay, I got parallel lines. All that time just to say that this is true. So in geometry classes, you will not have perfectly parallel lines, and that's okay. Yeah, as long as they have these markings or they tell you that they're parallel, they should be parallel. Okay, but I also want you to draw another line that cuts through both of them. A line that cuts through both those parallel lines. All right, how many angles were formed? 8 angles. Go ahead and label them. 1, 2, 3, 4. Those are the 4 angles up there. And then 5, 6, 7, 8. And label them like I do because in your notes I'll refer to them like that. And hopefully you drew it big enough so you can fit that in. Bless you. All right. I have 2 parallel lines. And this line that cuts them is called, and you do need to know this, it's called a transversal. Transversal. Does anyone know what the prefix trans means? Trans. And unfortunately has some negative connotations, but think transportation. What does that mean? To move something from one place to another or through something. To go from one place to another. Transversal cuts through both of these parallel lines. It cuts through this one and that line. Okay, creating these 8 angles. So transversal. Okay, there are 2 types of angles that are formed. I know that there are 8 total, but there are 2 types. The first type we're going to call interior. Interior. And if you want to add notes, because I'm going to give you like definitions with my words, but I won't write them out. So if you want to write some more with it, you can. Interior angles and exterior angles. Interior and exterior. Do you guys remember me talking about yesterday how you can rotate this figure? So interior and exterior will be the same regardless of how I rotate it. So we got to get a good definition of what interior, exterior with these angles is, or are, I guess I should say. Okay, look at the parallel lines. So my hands are now, or my arms are now the parallel lines. Which angles are inside or in between my hands or my arms? 3, 4, 5, and 6. Those 4 are your interior angles. So 3, 4, 5, and 6. Those angles are interior angles. They're the angles in between the parallel lines. If I rotate this, it's the same definition. In between the parallel lines. So which ones are exterior? 1, 2, 7, and 8. 1, 2, 7, and 8. Those are exterior angles. Those are on the outside of the parallel lines. I hope that's pretty clear. I hope that's pretty easy to get. Okay, any questions on interior, exterior? How many of each? 4. Okay, so that's easy. Split it in half. I'm still referring to that diagram, but the next definition I want you to get is alternate interior angles. Alternate interior angles. Do you guys know what interior angles are? Inside those parallel lines. What in the world does alternate mean? Okay, they sometimes are different. Alternate. Think of substitute. Yep. You can alternate between one and the other. You have the substitute. You have a teacher, teacher substitute. You can alternate. Okay, look at my diagram. Look at the interior angles because it says alternate interior angles, and somebody give me a guess on what the alternate interior angles are out of these four. So it's a pair. It's a pair of two angles. Which ones are alternate interior? Technically, there are two pairs. Give me one. Angle 3 and angle 6 are alternate interior angles. Does anyone know why they're alternate interior angles? Yeah, look at it. Look at the transversal. You see how 3 is on one side and 4 is on the other side? And they're all inside, so they're alternating left and right on that transversal. So 3 and 6. So angle 3 and angle 6 are alternate interior angles. What's the other pair of alternate interior angles? Alternate interior angles. So we said 3 and 6, and therefore 4 and 5 are the other pair. Angle 4 and angle 5. Okay, so those are alternate interior angles. What do you think my next term is going to be? Not alternate interior angles, but alternate exterior angles. Alternate exterior angles. Alternate exterior angles. So we're referring to the four angles that are outside of the parallel lines. Someone give me a pair of alternate exterior angles. Brad? 2 and 7 are alternate exterior angles. Good. 2 and 7. And somebody give me the other pair of alternate exterior angles. Angle 1 and angle 8 are alternate exterior angles. Angle 1 and angle 8. How many of you are seeing this? I can picture that. They're alternate and they're exterior, or they're alternate and interior. Okay, good. These are kind of just fun facts, right? Just like, oh, cool, yeah, they're alternate, exterior. You guys know anything special about these pairs? Every single pair. Give me a pair of this type of angles. So let me point to one of them. First of all, hold it. These two angles are alternate what? 1 and 8 are alternate exterior angles. Do you know anything about those two angles? They are the same. There's a special word for the same in geometry. Congruent. Which angle is congruent to angle 3? Angle 6. Those are alternate interior angles. Cool. Oh, okay, cool. Last one. Let's go with this definition, corresponding. Corresponding. This is our last new definition, corresponding angles. What does corresponding mean? What have you heard corresponding to be? Anyone? Say that again? Okay, there's a correspondence between somebody and another thing or person. Yep. Have you ever heard of corresponding, like pictures? These pictures correspond to one another. Does anyone know what a synonym is? Similar? They go along. They relate. They relate in a certain way. I'm going to use the word matching. They match one another for these corresponding angles. And you're like, okay, what does that mean for my diagram? Okay, angle 1 and angle 5. You guys notice anything about angle 1 and angle 5? They're the same. They match. But are they both exterior? Are they both interior? Are they alternating? So they're not alternating. They're not interior or exterior. And so we're going to call them corresponding. So 1 and 5 are corresponding. 1 and 5. There are 3 other pairs that are corresponding. Go ahead and find them. You write them in pencil, just in case you need to erase. Find the 3 other pairs of corresponding angles. All right, Hagen. We said 1 and 5 are corresponding. Give me another pair.
3 and 7.
3 and 7 are also corresponding. 3 and 7 are corresponding. Jackson, give me another pair that correspond.
6 and 2.
6 and 2 are corresponding. 6 and 2 match. And last one, Henry.
4 and 8.
4 and 8 are also corresponding. They match each other. Who can give me the other 3 that we just mentioned? Michelle. 1 and 5. 2 and 6. 3 and 7. 4 and 8. Okay, those are corresponding angles. And what do you know about corresponding angles? They are also congruent. Congruent. They are the same measurement if you get the degree measurement. Oh man, this is like, okay, we got alternate interior, alternate exterior, and now corresponding, plus that transversal. Review time. Okay, put your notes, cover something, put something to cover your notes, or flip them upside down. You don't have to close them completely up because we'll go back to them real quick. All right. How many of you kind of remember some of the terms from yesterday? Let me give them to you real quick. Let's see if I can remember them. Complementary means what? 90 degrees. 2 angles add up to be 90 degrees. Supplementary. Add up to be 180. 2 angles. Linear pair.
They're beside each other?
They're beside each other and same vertex, share a line, and they're, yep, and that's sharing a same side and common vertex. They're supplementary. So they're adjacent and supplementary. What's adjacent mean? So the 4th thing, adjacent. Next to each other. And then vertical. Yes, thank you. Wow, look at that. The vertical angles, what does that mean? They're opposite of one another. And what do you know about opposite angles? They are, it's a key word, the same, which means congruent. Okay. Good. I'm glad we ran through that. All right. I'm going to call on one of you. You give me the answer. If you can't give me the answer, I'll phone a friend for you. Andrew, angle 2 and angle 3 are, fill in the blank, one of the 5 that I just gave you.
Supplementary.
Angle 2 and angle 3. So think.
Jason.
Okay. They don't share a common side. They do share a common vertex, but not a common side. So one more guess.
Linear.
Let's phone a friend and make sure here. Jackson, 2 and 3 are? It's okay, I'll phone another friend. Sophie, 2 and 3 are? Vertical. They're opposite from one another. Drew, angles 2 and angles 4 are a linear pair. What's another name for a linear pair?
Jason.
Okay, they can be adjacent. That's correct. Another name for a linear pair. They're adjacent angles. They have a common vertex, common side. And Gracie. They are one of the 5. That's okay. I'll phone a friend. Anna Grace.
I don't know.
That's okay. Mary. That's okay. Natalie? Supplementary. They're supplementary, right? Don't they both add up to be 180? Supplementary. Linear pair, adjacent, supplementary. Oh, Darius. Angles 3 and angles 4 are, fill in the blank. You have, I think, 3 things you can say. Maybe 7. Okay.
I don't know.
Okay? Hudson?
Adjacent?
They're adjacent, correct.
Supplementary.
They're supplementary or supplementary. Andrew? Sorry? Linear pair. Good. Whew. Who's been paying attention to those? Whose eyes have been fixed on this? Fixed on me? Brad. What angle is vertical to angle 5?
8.
Angle 8. Very good. Sam. Which angle is supplementary to 6?
5.
Or?
8.
Very good. Look at that. Good job. Alex. Angle 5 and angle 7 add up to be?
180.
180. Jack. Which angle is equal to angle 6? Ooh, he went to 9-2. That's correct. Angle 6 and angle 2 are equal. Which other ones are equal to angle 6? 7 is equal to angle 6. Which other one is equal to angle 6? Angle 3 is also equal to angle 6. Okay, good review. I think you guys are getting it. Here's why I care about all these names and all these terms. How many angles do we have up here? 8. All I need is one of them, and we can know all the rest of them. Ready? Josiah, this angle 1 is, we'll call it 100 degrees. What would angle 4 be? 100 degrees, right? They're vertical. Okay, Hudson, this is angle 1. This is angle 1, and it's 100 degrees. What's angle 2? 80 degrees, because what do these two have to add up to be? 180. Okay, angle 2 is 80, so what's angle 3 got to be? 80 degrees. And you're like, okay, but that just gives me those 4. Oh, wait, look at these corresponding angles. What's angle 1, angle 5? They're both 100. So if this is 100, what's 8? 100. What's 6? 80. If 6 is 80, what's 7? I need one of the angles to find all 8 of the angles, right? So I just need one of those based on those pieces of info. And now it's time to test you out on that with actual numbers. Okay, so I'm looking at example number 1. You can open up your notes, your books, and all that. Page 239. We moved on to the next page. Oh my. Okay, look at example number 1. Don't even read the instructions, just look at that diagram on page 239. I need everyone on there because I'm going to quiz you to see if you're paying attention to what we were saying today and yesterday. I want everyone with their pencil to point to angle FHD on that diagram. Point to angle FHD. FHD. I'm going to come by and see if you're pointing to the right spot. So it'd be, you'd point right here to this angle. Right there. That's your angle. Yep. Yep. Yes. Yes. FHD. So, here, I'm going to come right. FHD, yep. Yep. Yes. 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 I guess. I hope. Yep. Yep. So the angle is, I'm going to move your pencils right here. It's this part right here. Yep. Sorry, let me see. Yeah, it's that angle. Angle. So, Hudson, can I see your pencil? Oh, I'm going to stretch out. It's this right here. You just point right there. Where that pencil point was. Yep. FHD. Can I see your pencil?
FHD. I think you're saying FHD.
That's okay. Yeah, that's FH. Yeah. Okay. I'm going to reproduce that graph, or excuse me, that diagram real quick. I'm not going to do everything they have on it. But FHG, make sure, FHD is right here. Do you agree? This is where you should have been pointing to, right there. Okay, now in this problem, they give me the information on 2 angles. What's one angle they give me information on? Name that angle correctly, please, somebody. Drew, give me one angle.
EGB.
EGB, that's up here, right? EGB is that angle right here. And what info did they give me about EGB? What's the measurement of that angle? 6x plus 10 degrees. That's not a lot, but that's what they give me. What other angle did they give me information on? G, you can call it GHD or DHG, and that's this angle right here. and they give me 4x plus 20 degrees. Okay. That's all they gave me. They don't even give me the full number. They just give me these two expressions. What do you know about those two angles?
Equal.
They are equal because what type of angles are there? So think of today's lesson. They are either alternate interior, alternate exterior, or corresponding. They're corresponding. These two are equal to one another. Is that correct? So I know that 6x, write this down, 6x plus 10 and 4x plus 20 have to be what? Equal to one another. They have to equal one another. Find x. Go ahead and find x. Use your skills to find what is x. So this is a puzzle with many pieces to it, and we're just looking at the first parts. You're going to see what they actually wanted here. Can somebody tell me what you would do to solve this? Like, how would you approach? Okay, Darius?
You subtract 4x.
Yeah, I would do the same. I would subtract 4x from both sides, and that would leave me with 2x plus 10 equals 20. Great. Then what do I do to both sides? Subtract 10 from both sides. I get 2x equals 10. And then I divide both sides by 2, and I get x equals 5. That is not my answer. That is just what x equals. Okay, they didn't want you to tell, their final answer wasn't asking you for x equals 5 or what x equals. In fact, they don't even want you to tell them what this angle is or what that angle is. They wanted to know what this angle is. How in the world do you do that? They didn't even tell you anything about it. Okay, who can tell me what your next step might be? Andrew?
Well, you substitute x, 5 for x, and then you solve
For which one do you think?
the bottom one.
Okay. What's 4 times 5? 20 plus 20? So I got 40 here. This angle is 40 degrees. Yep, that's 40 degrees. But what happened to that guy?
They're equal.
Okay, what's 6 times 5? 30 plus 10? Oh, yeah, they're both, oh, that's right, they're corresponding. They had to be equal. That's not my answer. It's not 40 degrees. I want to know what this angle is right here. How'd you get that?
Because I know that.
Both of these have to equal 180. Good.
So the rest is 180 minus 40.
And you get 140 degrees. That's the answer that they wanted. So you see how they wanted you to figure out what x is. Then you plug in x. Then you find out what the angle is that they're asking for. And the angle, it says, find the measure of CHG. Do you guys see that this is CHG right here? That's what they wanted. So make sure you know what they're asking for so you know what to get. How many of you, this is not that bad? I'm not saying it's easy. I'm just saying it's not that bad. It's just you kind of have to follow the steps and then figure out what they're asking for. Okay, didn't I do this to you yesterday? With the homework? Was it kind of rough? Be honest. It was rough. Okay, you get better as you keep getting exposed to these problems. You're like, okay, I know what they're looking for. I know how to solve this, and then figure it out. Uh-oh. Example number 2. I just sketched it. Which ones are the parallel lines?
Not those. You don't have the.
Yeah, it's the ones that are doing this, right?
Now.
Good, now they're parallel. And thankfully your book has it there, that they're parallel. And it says that MN, line MN, and line OP are parallel. So they tell you that. And this is your transversal right here. Okay. We're going to do several things here. Somebody give me one angle that they give me information on. Give me one angle. Eva, good job. Give me one angle that they give me info on.
Would it be
MRS. And what did they give me about that?
40 minus x?
40 minus x degrees. That's this angle right here. 40 minus x. Give me another angle that they give me information on. Hagen. OSR, and they give me 6x plus 10. 6x plus 10 degrees, and that's this one right here. Okay. This angle right here is what type of angle? Just this one by itself. So your choices are interior or exterior. Interior. Do you guys remember what the definition of interior? Because I thought that's like top, bottom. Wait, what's interior mean? In between the parallel lines. So these four are in between the parallel lines. These four are outside, exterior. What are these two right here? Are they alternate interior, alternate exterior, or corresponding? Who says alternate interior? Good, because that's not what it is. Who says alternate exterior? It's impossible, they're not exterior. Who says they're corresponding? Well, that's your only other choice, right? These are not corresponding. They're neither. They're none of those. What? That's a trick question. Darius, did you want to add something?
No.
Okay. But they do relate to one another. They are supplementary. Okay. Before you get too upset with that. Okay. The corresponding angle to this angle is right here. These are corresponding. But what do I know about this angle and this angle, for example? They have to add up to be 180. So what do these two have to add up to be? Okay, let me try that again. These two angles are the same, right? This one and this one. Do you agree with that? They're corresponding? Okay? And what do these two angles have to add up to be? So using the transitive property, this angle can be substituted right here. So what do I write for my equation? 40 minus x and 6x plus 10. What do they have to combine to get me? 180. So I got to add them, and they got to get me 180. That's a transitive property. You're transferring some info that you had. Ugh. What do you do on this one? Combine like terms. How many terms do I have here? 1, 2, 3, 4 terms. Are there any like terms? What's negative x plus 6x? 5x. And you're like, how'd you get 5? Well, there's a negative 1 there. What's 40 plus 10? Good, 50. And that equals 180. Go ahead and solve for x. All right, what'd you guys get, or what'd somebody get for x? Yes?
26.
26. Do you notice that I don't put degrees on that? Because this is not the measure of an angle. It's the measure, or it's the amount that x is worth. So x is 26. All right, how many of you got 26? Good on that? They were asking you what does x equal, and it equals 26. You'd be done with this problem. But I'm going to give you an opportunity to determine your destiny. How many of you want control of what your future holds? How many of you want control of that? Good. Well, I mean, you don't always get it, but if you do, take hold of it. All right. I want you guys to work. You can work in your table groups. Okay, you can work in your table groups. You can talk as much as you want. And I want you guys to tell me what this angle measurement is. I want to know what this in degrees is. Blank degrees, that one. You may begin.
Can we just say it out loud?
No. Just keep it on your paper because then everyone hears it. Go ahead. Oh, everyone in your table group has to get it right in order for you to control your destiny. This is what I mean. Homework or no homework? To be or not to be? That is the question. Your whole table group has to get it.
So you know how x is 40 minus x is 14, and then if that angle vertical, those are the same, so
I'll write it down in your paper so it's official. I know what your answer is. Write it down, please. Just put something degrees. That would be your answer. Let's hope you're right. Okay. Who can explain it before giving me the answer? Tell me how you got it. There are many ways you could do it. Multiple ways. All right, give me one way.
You do 40 minus 26.
Okay, 40 minus 26 is?
14.
But I wanted that one. They are alternate interior angles. Okay, good. That's one way to do it. What's the other way to do it? There's another way. Yep.
So 14% is the same as the far right bottom angle, and that's vertical to the top one.
Oh, okay. So you did these two, which are called corresponding. These are corresponding. They're equal to one another. And then these are vertical, so they have to equal. Okay, good. Give me another way. Come on. I need you to think it multiple ways, because sometimes you don't get all this info. You just get part of it. What's another way? Yep.
26 for 6x plus 10.
Okay, so you get that number, which would be, what did we get? 14, so like 166? Yeah, okay, so then how do you figure that out with that one? Yep, and then you should get your 14, right? So you can do it that way, you could do it this way, or you could do it that way, because you know all those parts. Good job, guys. Who got it? Wow. All right, what's your choice, homework or no homework?
No homework.
That wasn't exciting. Goodbye, Swivel.